What's going on, guys? Mike here, and today I want to talk to you about some saving tips in regards to high interest savings accounts. The primary bank that I typically use is EQ Bank, and for those of you who haven't heard of EQ Bank, they are an online bank here in Canada, which obviously, as soon as I say online, everyone right away asks the question, well, is it safe? So if you look here on their main webpage, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice how they have the symbol of the FDIC insurance. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that is the Canadian Deposit Insurance Corporation, and this particular insurer covers all the banks here in Canada. So on my screen here, you'll see I have typed in EQ Bank on the CDIC website, and it goes into detail how EQ Bank is fully covered up to $100,000 of deposits per category. Now, two things. One, I was like, wow, only $100,000. That's kind of interesting. And also two, what is per category mean? So the per category is broken down here on the CDIC website, and basically every account is a category. So you can have your account to your name only, which is covered by $100,000. You can have a joint account with a spouse, which is another $100,000. A savings account for a trust or beneficiary, your TFSA, your RSP, your RIF, your RESP, and your RDSP. So each one of them, if you have an account with an insured bank, such as EQ Bank or TD Canada Trust, each of those will be covered by $100,000. Now, again, when I first started kind of going down my financial path, I was actually quite surprised that EQ Bank was only $100,000. But it's actually the same coverage between all the big banks, which is kind of funny because I was maybe a little naive before, but I just assumed that if my money was in a Canadian bank, it was safe. So I guess the more you know. But just to kind of show it here, you'll also see here, if I go to the TD Canada Trust website, and I also scroll down at the bottom, they have the same symbol here. And again, if you go back to the CDIC website and you type in TD Canada Trust, once again, you will notice how they are also covered by $100,000 per category, right? So in my opinion, there's no less coverage compared to like the big six banks here in Canada to an online bank like EQ Bank. So now we understand that what EQ Bank is and that it's safe. I kind of wanted to go into details as to why I use it. So I primarily use it for a high interest savings, and it's primarily where I keep like my emergency fund or money that I have plans for, but I'm not ready to say distribute it to whatever it is. Maybe it's my property taxes or paying off a credit card or paying off some sort of other debt. I like using EQ Bank for holding those types of money just because their everyday savings account is 2.5% annually. So it's really quite nice because what I end up doing, like I said, is I have my emergency fund as well as my rotating of cash. So I pay off the credit card once a month, but instead of say transferring the money weekly or something to pay off the card every Friday, you might as well move it into EQ Bank and let it sit there to accumulate the interest. And then once it comes time to pay it off, you pay it off from EQ Bank, and you would have accumulated the interest while it sat there. And the interest does accumulate daily. It's not monthly, it's daily. So it's 2.5% divided by 30 days, and that's what you'll get for a per day interest. And it's paid out on the first of every month. So yeah, so like I was saying, I keep my emergency fund there, and any kind of rolling money I'll also throw in there if I have plans for it. And it adds up to anywhere between $300 to $400 extra a year that you can use for whatever you want. Now, I actually have my EQ Bank linked to my Wealth Simple account, so every first of the month when I get the interest, I actually just transfer it over to Wealth Simple, and I just buy some stocks with it, basically. So yeah, so high interest savings is a really big positive. The next thing is their GICs. Now, I personally don't use any GICs, but if I was older, nearing retirement, let's say 5 years out, I could see how these would be very beneficial. You'll see here in the non-reg, a 1 year is 5%. 5 year in a registered TFSA or RSP is your 4.3%. If you scroll down here, it'll actually kind of show you all of them. So they range from a 3-month all the way up to 10 years, and you're going to also have it, paid out the interest annually. So at the end of every year of your term, it will pay you out the interest, so it doesn't stay locked up in the GIC. Or you can have it just recirculate back into the GIC, which is when you have the interest paid out at maturity. So yeah, I see a lot of value in this. I also, you can see in the video that I'm sharing here right now that it's like super simple. This is just from the web login here. You click on buy a GIC and select your terms, the account you want it to come from, and put a nickname to it and hit next, and boom, you have yourself a GIC. And that's probably another reason why I really love digital banks, just because I always find a struggle trying to book an appointment to go and get a joint account created, or to go do anything. I find it such a big inconvenience to go to the bank. The cool thing is with the digital banks, everything is online, so everything is just a click away. So I really like that. I don't think I could go back. So yeah, so that's that. I really just wanted to kind of share with you guys on how I use EQ, and if you have any questions, please feel free to make a comment below. Also, you also will realize I do have a referral in the description below. If you use the link, you'll also get a free $20 for opening an account, as well as I will as well. So it's kind of a both win-win. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the content, and thanks for stopping by.